So I've created a text stenciling add-on that you've got just a scene property or an add-on property that's a string property, and when you enter this modal operator, your text will follow the mouse after the first click. Okay, and then there's a couple little unique features here. You can press P to project the text and then preview it. And so what it handles really well is surfaces that are curved and along only one axis. For example, if we tried to do this onto the teeth here, which that's my specialty, it does not handle that as well as it could or should, and it's just not a very common use case. But for areas that are fairly smooth relative to the text size, works great. One trick is, if you're looking at it off axis, you're going to get a projection that's perpendicular to your view, and meaning it won't rotate around the axis that the text is written on. So one thing that I've got here is if you line up and then right click in the middle, it'll snap your view to the local surface of the object. And then you can check it again. So that's getting pretty nice results, even if we do something pretty cool like up here on the front of this model where things are quite curved. I forgot to, there we go. It didn't quite handle that steepest part, but because there's a balance to get the text to look nice. Do you want the letters to be perpendicular to the view plane or perfectly perpendicular to the surface? And I've erred on the side of perpendicular to the view plane. Okay, and then when it gets very cool is that when we go to actually emboss, this will remesh each letter individually. So the Blender text curves often create little self-intersections, so when you try to solidify them, they'll have bad geometry and then they'll fail when it's time to Boolean. Also, nice little thing is after you do that, it will turn ambient occlusion on, which makes the text pop a lot better on the model. But if we look at this in wireframe mode, we can see that each letter has been remeshed individually. So when you go to actually emboss, it does a separate by loose parts on all the letters, takes each object, adds an individual remesh modifier to them, and then recombines the object and then applies the Boolean modifier. So if we check here, you can see that the geometry is clean. Okay, and that I'm pretty proud of that. So hope to get this kind of split off. I have it tailored to a very dental specific use, but I think that could be pretty useful for probably a lot of applications. So we can have that split off and on the Blender market with a pass through to the Blender Foundation very soon.